everyone. I'm Elise with Art By Elise, and today is a new day. In today's chat, I'm going to talk a little bit about the video series that I'm producing and about the first video I've published. First off, the video series that I'm working on is called It's a New Day. The current plan that I have is to release a video on Mondays that help to give you either something positive to hold on to during the week or something that will help to challenge your way of thinking. On Fridays, I will release a podcast that talks about what I get from the videos to hopefully start some conversations. I firmly believe that we all need a little more positive in our life. Negative information and experiences are so much easier to talk about and remember as they can have more of an impact on our lives. With information being available literally at our fingertips, we have a greater access to the negative events. So especially if you think about what you hear on the news or what you saw on the news, is it more positive or is it more negative? Which bit of news do you remember more? When you get onto Facebook, what do you tend to see more of, negative or positive stuff? With this series, I want to be able to give people something positive to think about during the week to counteract some of the negatives that you see daily. Another part of giving something positive to have during the week is that I want to be able to give people something to think about and potentially discover something about themselves. One person might find that spending time by themselves is a positive experience. Another person may find that spending time with other people is more of a positive experience for them. And while another person may find doing a little bit of both gives them more of a positive experience. By asking yourself questions, having conversations with people, and by trying different activities, you can discover what makes for a positive experience in your life. You can find out more about yourself, you can understand yourself a little bit more, and you can also understand the people that are around you a little bit more as well. The videos are set up to hopefully get your brain cells moving and thinking a little bit more about yourself, and they will hopefully also spark some conversations as well. Now to get onto the main part of what I will be discussing on Fridays. Every Friday, I will be doing a podcast, like right now, that goes over topics that you see in the videos on Mondays. These will be my viewpoints about what you see in the videos. One thing that I do want everyone to know is that anything that I say is strictly what I believe in. If you agree with my viewpoints, awesome. If you don't agree with me, then that's awesome as well. That means that you're an individual and you have a different viewpoint. You do not have to agree with me, and that is perfectly okay. As a result, I hope that we can have a conversation to better understand each other's viewpoints. So if at any point you would like to have a conversation, start one in the comment sections below or visit the blog. So today, I'm going to talk a little bit about each section before I give my viewpoints. Starting next week, I'll just be jumping right into the regular format, and the podcast will be a little shorter as a result. Section 1 of the videos is the phrase of the week. This could be a positive or thought-provoking phrase, quote, or mantra. This can be something that you may find positive, or maybe something that you ponder on because it's not something you thought about before. This week's is sometimes putting yourself first isn't selfish but necessary. And I'm going to start off with saying that at the start of my adult life, if I had heard this quote, I probably wouldn't have believed it. Because for me, I'm the type of person who puts the needs of others before my own needs. It's something that I've had to work on quite a bit, actually, with being an adult. It used to be very hard for me to say no to someone and to do something that was just for me, especially when it came to work. I would always pick up extra shifts. I would especially for anything that was like last minute. I would take that instead of taking my day off. And that's usually where I struggle with the most, is with work and saying no to that. I have been working on this for quite a while now, and I will say that I can now completely agree with the quote that I'm not being selfish if I take a little time for myself, and that it is necessary for me to do this so I don't feel burned out from work, or from just being around people on a regular basis. I am a type of person that does get worn out from being around people all the time. Most people would say I'm introverted with that, and I could agree with that. I do like people. I do like being around them. I like working with them. Of course, I love my friends and I love my family and spending time with them. I just feel very worn out by the end of the day when I've been around a lot of people. It can be overwhelming. I just can feel really tired to the point that I just knock out when I get home. It's just the way that I am. I don't really know of any way to counteract that besides taking time for myself. And if I don't take time for myself after being around people constantly, I do feel really tired. I eventually stop taking care of myself. And I kind of stop taking care of other people at that point. And I can actually burn out really easily. I've been through burnout a couple of times. It's not fun. I don't like it. It actually scares me. So overall, I have learned to rely on myself a little bit more for things as a result of taking more time for myself, discovering what I need out of life, what I need to feel happier, feel more energetic. I've also learned to be a lot more independent, especially when I go and do things on my own, like go and eat out on my own or go hiking. So if somebody is telling you that you are being selfish for taking a day off, doing something for yourself, turning your phone off so nobody can contact you for just a little bit, maybe consider that you aren't being selfish, because in my personal opinion, you're not being selfish. You're taking care of you. Section 2 of the videos is a positive emotion of the week. This will be a word with its definition that is something that should be positive, hopefully. This week's word is balanced, and that is about keeping or showing balance, arranged in good proportions, taking everything into account, fairly judged or presented, having no emotion lacking or too strong, stable. I think finding a balance to life is something everyone tries to do, and some people do find a balance. It can be a struggle to find a balance when things are changing on a regular basis, and for some people, they may not be in a situation where they can find balance in their life. For me, I do struggle sometimes with balancing work, my personal life, and my me time. I do need money to pay bills, and therefore I need to work on a regular basis. As an adult, it can be hard to find times to meet up with my family and friends, as we tend to have varying schedules and various things going on in our lives. Pretty much all my friends are married. I have one friend who has a kid. My parents do have their thing going on. My brother has his thing going on. So sometimes trying to find a balance is difficult with my family and friends, and I don't always get to hang out with them as much as I would like to. Sometimes trying to find a balance with my me time can be difficult if I don't have the energy and just end up crashing. Sometimes that happens. I get home from work, I'm exhausted. I just kind of crash and veg out, which I don't consider to be my me time. My me time is doing stuff that I like to do, like reading or drawing or coloring or writing or playing video games, hanging out with the cats without falling asleep on them. That kind of stuff is more of my me time rather than just crashing out and knocking out for a couple hours. But despite all this, I do continue to try to find a balance so that I can hopefully be happier with my life. As I said, I'm still working on it. A lot of people are probably going through this. If I do happen to find a balance, I'll let y'all know what I've done to be able to do that. And speaking briefly on my cats, if you do hear any background noise, that's them letting me know it's almost time for dinner. So just bear with me on that. They're both up and, trying to get some food. So section 3 is practicing mindfulness. Being mindful means that you are there in the moment and you're not concerning yourself with other thoughts about the past or the future. You're not worrying about what happened earlier. You're not worrying about what you need to do tomorrow or later in the day. You're also not focusing on any negative emotions that you might be having. So you're focusing on the present. And as a result, you are focused on what you are doing and not on distracting thoughts or emotions. You're putting all of your thoughts into what you're doing. This section looks at activities that you can do for yourself and no one else. To start off, this week's activity is to take at least 10 minutes of time to do something that you love. For people who are not used to doing something alone, you may feel like you're being selfish, or you may not have a lot of time, especially to try to find 10 minutes or especially more than 10 minutes. So to try to find 10 minutes a week is a good baby step to having some me time. Try to use this time to do something you enjoy doing and something that is going to give you a little boost of positivity to your day. Read a book, play a game, sit outside in the sun, meditate, take a walk. There's so many things you could do. And if you choose, you can do more than 10 minutes. You could set aside 10 minutes every day if you wanted to. You can set an hour a week just for yourself, or even more than that. But to start off with, just give yourself 10 minutes of alone time and think about how you feel at the end of that time. I know for me, just to spend 10 minutes or sometimes even more makes me feel a whole lot better. And as I said, being introverted, it's something that I actually do need to do. Some of my favorite things to do is reading, writing. I do like to do a spa night every once in a while. And I do try to avoid getting on the internet. And I do shut my phone off, or at least turn the volume down. Not even let it be on vibrate, but put it on silent. So that way nobody disturbs me. And if I especially don't want anybody to disturb me, I will let people know that, hey, I'm taking this time for myself. Try not to call me. Try not to come up to my room or something. Just let me have my me time. So just take a little bit of time for yourself. Section 4 is spreading the positive. Now that you're feeling positive emotions, maybe try to spread that to other people. When you are feeling good and you are in a positive mood, other people can pick up on that. Sometimes people can go from feeling crummy to feeling a whole lot better just because someone positive is near them and they can see that. So this week's activity is to smile at someone and say hi. That's all you have to do. For some people, seeing someone smile, which can be contagious, can make them feel better about having a crummy day. And it doesn't cost any money to do that, and it's easy to do. Now, I will say, try doing this when you're not required to do it. For some people's jobs, it's part of the customer service experience to smile and make customers feel welcome. So try to smile at someone when you're off the clock, and it might make you actually feel a lot better since you're not required to do it. At least smile at one person, if not, smile at a few more. And keep in mind that some people may not be receptive to your smile, so try it with somebody else. Section 5 is thoughts to ponder. These are questions that will usually tie into the first section and gives you something to think about. You can think about this question by yourself or have a conversation with someone else. This week's question is it really okay for me to do something for myself and for no one else for just a little bit of time each day? And my answer is going to be yes. And as the quote of the week says, it is necessary. And necessary for most people. Some people, it may not be as necessary for. And this is at least something that I believe, especially now. As I said before, I wouldn't have believed this quite as much at the beginning of my adult life. But now that I've discovered a lot more about myself, it's very necessary for me to just take that time, a little bit each day. You should be able to do something for yourself at least every once in a while. It's not a bad thing. As a matter of fact, it can be very helpful and healthy to do this. The best way to figure out if this is a good thing for you is just to try it out. Take that 10 minutes. Give it a try. See how you feel afterwards. If you feel more positive, add that to your schedule each week. Just take that little bit of time. Now, I do have a very good reason why this is important, besides what I've already said. But I'm going to share that with you next week as it ties in with that video a little bit more. But if you do have a different opinion on this thought about whether it's okay to take time for yourself, and especially if you believe that you're being selfish for taking time for yourself, or if you think it's not necessary to do it, leave your ideas in the comment sections and tell me why you think differently. Just remember that we all aren't going to believe the same things, and that is okay. Speaking of having conversations on these videos, I do ask you to please keep the comments on topic and civil. If you can't discuss your ideas or beliefs without being able to explain them in an appropriate manner, and without arguing or bullying someone, then you're not having a conversation. Conversation consists of somebody being able to explain their ideas, being able to explain their beliefs, someone else listening to that or reading it, and for the people that were listening first, to be able to explain their beliefs and ideas, and to just talk about it. I also do not want to see anyone trying to tell anyone else that they are wrong and that they are to believe in what they believe in. I am not a huge fan of people doing that to me, so I don't want to see that here either. Everyone is going to have their own beliefs and their own ideas. We shouldn't be telling other people what to believe in. Again, we can have conversations, we can explain ourselves, we can discuss it, but we're not telling anybody what to believe in. So keep in mind that everyone is not going to agree on everything because we are all different and we are individuals. That's just being human. With that being said,